Hello everyone and welcome. I'm so happy to be hanging out with you guys today. If you're new to my channel, my name is Marcy. I make junk journals and all things pertaining to, related to junk journals, such as ephemera and other things, all kinds of ideas that I enjoy sharing with you. I also try to inspire and encourage you as you go through your day and your week. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the flip through of my garden journals. They are finished. I had debated about trying to do another process video on something, part of it that I was working on, but I just really wanted to get them finished and out there. So that's what we're doing today, is a flip through of these two books. Go ahead and get yourselves comfy, and if you would like to craft along while I share, that's fine too, and then I'll be back to go through these journals with you. First, let me say I hope my fan is not too loud in the background. I do have it running because it's a little warm in here with the door shut, so hopefully that's not too distracting. Now, these are the two journals that I have been working on. This one I titled Mimi's Prayer Garden. It's in honor of my son-in-law's grandma, and she's was a lovely lady, and I had wanted to honor her by making her a journal, and she passed away last December on New Year's Eve. So I'm a little sad that I wasn't able to get this done before that time, but I have really enjoyed working on this and making a journal that reflects the type of person she was as well as her faith. This one is the second journal that I made, and it's made from a cookbook binder journal, not Better Homes and Gardens. It was a Weight Watchers cookbook, and I have covered it with some very old fabric. They were the fabric is from some curtains that were hanging in the church and then had been sent down to the basement and were down there for I don't know how long, but I think these are from the 60s, possibly the 70s. Not sure what the type of fabric is because I'm not familiar. It could either be chintz or bark cloth, or I'm not sure, but it's beautiful fabric, and so I thought it was the perfect addition for this journal. The two journals are very similar in look and in style, but they each have their own personality. This one I have titled The Secret Prayer Garden, and so they'll be listed that way. I will be sharing them or posting them in my coffee shop, which is linked down below, not my Etsy shop. I do have a sale going on in my Etsy shop right now, and just trying to clear things out. It's a very good sale, 30% off any purchase of $25 or more. And so I hope you guys will help me out by checking out my shop on Etsy, also linked below, but I will be selling these on coffee. That being said, before I dive into this, I am not going to have them listed. You're going to see this Wednesday, but I won't have these listed until Saturday, just because I have several things going on and it's late now that I've finished these up, but I wanted to share them with you. So there's not time tonight to take photos and do the listings and stuff. So anyway, they will be listed in my coffee shop. Along with the journals, when you receive them, you'll get some extra pages that were part of the original garden binder, this Better Homes and Gardens ones. So if you haven't been watching along, I took pages from this and divided them between the two binders, and then added all the other extra papers and things. And then of the pages that I removed, I've saved some of the nicer ones for you, and then you'll get a few here, but you won't get all of the pages that were included in this binder, partly because that's really not the point. It's a journal, so you just want the flavor of it, and some of the pages aren't that interesting anyway. Okay, so let me go ahead and start here with Mimi's Prayer Garden. So like I said, it's the 1968, I believe, version of the Better Homes and Gardens garden book. Lovely graphics on the cover. On the inside, I covered front and back with scrapbook papers, and then I added you'll see this in the other journal too, but I added a plastic pocket here, and this is made from the plastic page that they always had, the clear acetate that they always include as the very front protective page in all of their binders, the cookbook, the gardening, and all of that. So I liked that piece, and it was a little bit torn up where the rings were, so I cut it in half and made a pocket for each one on the title page. And then I made a journal card to slide into there. They both have the "This Book Belongs To" stamp on the back. As you can see, I've got this little excerpt here. Hear our prayer, O Lord. And because it was a prayer garden theme, there's elements of prayer, elements of gardening. So I tried to mix that up, and I tried to have a lot of things that have to do with prayer. So I'm going to talk through this one and do more of the explaining in this one, and then just quickly flip through the other one because they are very similar. So this is the title page, and it does have the copyright date on it, 1968. There's the title page in this one, and it has the beautiful color. This is a page from a children's book, and I just folded it over and made a pocket. And I love the little boy saying his prayers. And then inside the pocket, I made a journal card from a piece of scrapbook paper, and it is Evening Prayer by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. So I liked how that tied in together with him saying his prayers, and then this is the evening prayer. I also like how all the colors went together, the color in the iris and his bedspread in the back of the journal card. Page from a Helen Steiner Rice book. And then in each section I only used half of the dividers that were in this original book. So each one I think has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think there are seven divider pages. Now I can't remember. And then I tried to have 10 sheets of paper in between each one. So there's roughly 70 pages in each journal, and I will verify that and put that when I list them in my Ko-fi shop. This is a pocket made from a gardening book page, and then I just added a piece of scrapbook paper in there. I tried to cover each one of these tab divider pages with something interesting. Original page, and I reinforced it here and also covered up. If you'll recall, if you've watched some of the earlier videos, the man that owned this book did a lot of highlighting and underlining in several places, and so I tried to cover that up where I could. This is a gardening book, a different type of gardening book page. So this is a prayer plant, which I thought was fun. And then this is from an art book. This has the beautiful roses on it. I did include some lace on the edges, but I tried not to go overboard, and I just wanted it to be really soft and delicate, like Mimi was. She was just really sweet and very feminine and very warm person. This is a pocket I made off screen. This is from a paper sack, and you can slide this back behind. This is just a piece of cardstock scrap, and then this is one of those hand crocheted journal cards that I got from Kate's Corner Creations. I referenced it in the first video in this series, where her shop is. You can find her on Etsy, and she does still have a shop, and she does still sell these types of things in there. I don't think her channel, she hasn't uploaded on her channel for a while. This is an ideals page. This is a page from a nature book, which I just loved all of the pictures in it, and I am doing a share next week that highlights this book, so I believe that's next week. It might be in 2 weeks. I'm part of a challenge, so I have to do that video too. Okay, this is from another type of gardening book. It flips out. I love the beautiful pictures. Here's a hymn page, the Lord's Prayer. Here's another one of those little journal cards. I made it into a tuck spot and glued it there. Oh, and this has Sweet Hour Prayer on the back side. So both of these hymns are about prayer. And then in here is just a tag. This is from Celeste at Woodland Inspired. Bloom or grow where you are planted. And then this is a vocabulary card, and the word on it is perennial. which fits in very nicely with a gardening theme. So here's some beautiful scrapbook paper, and this one I just made folding in. I've paper clipped one of these lovely vintage playing cards, and it looks like a seed packet. I just think those are the prettiest thing. It flips open, and then I just added a piece of washi tape along the side. These paper clips I also ordered from Kate's Corner Creations. I did not see if she has more of those in her shop or not. This is just a beautiful collage. This was a piece from Celeste that she sent me as a thank you, and then I just layered it up with some mulberry paper, some washi tape strips, and this is a piece from, I think from Paper Studio at Hobby Lobby. And then this is, Celeste had also sent me some labels, and these are the outside borders when she runs them through the die cut machine. So she sent me the border pieces as well as the labels. So this is just one of the edging pieces, and then I have some stickers, and I just cut them very close because they had a big white border around them. And I just cut this one very close and outlined just the flower and put it there. And I like how it all ties together, all the colors and the style of the roses. Here's a page. I showed you the book at the beginning. I think it was in the second video, the book that I used, but this is from a book on prayer and comfort. Another original page from the binder. I like some of these pictures and graphics are just lovely. This was from a Marjolaine Bastine book, The ABCs of Flowers, and beautiful artwork again. So I tucked these two in here, and here's some vintage stationery, vintage like it probably was from the 90s, yeah, 1993. And it's also Marjolaine Bastine artwork, so that was a lucky coincidence. I put little stickers and things to accent as you go through some of the pages. I just have fun little stickers. And then this is from a notepad that I have, so I just added it, glued it down to this back side to jazz it up, but it makes great writing space. More cardstock. I love the harp. As you know, as I've mentioned, Mimi loved music. She played the piano, and her husband, Poppy, he was a music minister. So music was a big part of their lives and their whole family, kids, grandkids, and my son-in-law is musical as well. This is a pocket I made, and so I put this on the back side. I have this decal. I meant to use it in the binder, but I just never quite found the right place, but I'm including it because it's just so pretty, and it goes very well with this. Here's a postcard. Not vintage, but it looks like it. And then an excerpt from a hymnal, like a devotional reading on prayer by Joyce Landorf. So I have some of these cutouts from the hymnals, and they are the same in both binders. I tried to kind of do the same things in each one. You'll see. I wanted some continuity, and I'm just extremely happy with how these have both turned out. I've really enjoyed doing them, and they actually went together pretty quickly, and which, you know, sometimes that's a struggle. And sometimes, you know, it's just the way they are. Sometimes journals come together really quickly and it's a lot of fun, and sometimes they just seem to really take all of your brain power and they just go slower. This is just, there's more highlighting and underlining back here, so I just glued down a page from a notepad, and I like it with the green design. It looks like a garden trellis to me. Here's one of those children's book pages that I added, and then this paper that looks like straw paper. It comes out of a photo album, a tropical photo album. This is another Helen Steiner Rice page with the poetry, and this one has a poem about prayer. Another piece of vintage stationery with the roses on it, and then I added some stickers here too that had Bible verses and things about prayer. Original page, original page. This was a beautiful greeting card that I found at the thrift store. and I just love the foil on it. I love the tall, skinny nature of it. So I turned it into a belly band, and then you'll see what I did with the other half of the card and the beautiful matching envelope. You'll see them later on in the binder. And then this is just a journal card that I had from an old K & Company pack. So don't go looking for them. They're not around. I actually had these from before, ages ago, from like early 2000s. So they are very old and no longer available. But I love how they look in here. Piece of scrapbook cardstock and a recipe card, because sometimes when you go to Grandma's house, she has jam. And I just love, that's really pretty. And it kind of also ties in with the garden theme. This is a seed packet envelope. They were at Target several years ago. And so I bought some, and they're just fun to use in the gardening journals. And then inside is a stamped piece from Celeste at Woodland Inspired. I just like how it shows through the window there. And then it's all layered up in this pocket. This is an envelope. It's Anna Griffin stationery. I had found them at Tuesday Morning several years ago, and it's one of those make your own card kind of things. And then I just layered it up with some mulberry paper. This is an ephemera piece. I can't remember what pack. It could have been Tim Holtz, or it could have been Paper Studio. I honestly don't remember, but I just layered it up, and I actually added the glitter to it too, so it looked really pretty. And then it's just blank inside. I added a sticker, but that's great journal space. And I love these envelopes because they are decorated inside. So I'm gonna slide that back in the other way so that I didn't want to glue that down because sometimes the glue shows through, but maybe glue stick would work. And then this closure is just a cluster that I have made. Then I added a fabric ribbon ruffle on this edge. Again, mulberry paper, and I did a little collage layout. These are actual vintage seed packet labels. I had ordered them on from Boston Bag Lady, I believe, on Etsy, but I did that a few years ago. And they're just beautiful, and I've been saving them for this project, so I'm super happy to be able to use them finally. Then I just layered up in several places these beautiful papers and things. Some are from Grabby when I did that share, and then you will be seeing in the next week or so a journal supply haul, and part of that was things that I've ordered from Temu. So there's a mix of the Grabby papers and the Temu items that I ordered, but it's just to make extra journaling space and to just make these dividers look pretty. Original page. This is a different page from a gardening book. I just love the beautiful artwork on it. Original page. And then this is a pocket that was made from a greeting card that I had cut down. Here's a Current from Current ink. I think it was from Current or similar, Post-it and then another journal card that I've had for ages and ages. So it looked pretty and gardeny, and it looks really good right there. So there you go. This is a handmade envelope. I got this from my Secret Santa when I did the swap in July. It was Dale McBay, so thank you, Dale. It goes perfectly in this album. And then on the back, I just added another one of those lovely pieces of paper for writing space. Inside, I just tucked a coffee-dyed index card that I added the sticker. This is a journal card I've made from a gardening book page, and it's backed on index card. And then this is a printable from, I believe, the Graphics Fairy. I just had it left over in my stash from another journal I made last year, and I just really like it. And so it's in the pocket, in the envelope. And then it's just clip shut with this cute little paper clip with the tassel. Very festive. This is a dried flower arrangement. I tried to turn it into handmade paper, and I know I've already referred to the video once, so you can go back and look for success or failure, my attempt at faux handmade paper, something like that, or just faux handmade paper. It's on my channel, and it works really well in the garden binder. I've been waiting to use that. But this was a dried flower arrangement that my husband's aunt had made us. Unfortunately, when I trimmed it down, you lost her signature and stuff over there. She'd put the year on it. I've added some stickers from my Grabby subscription box. Original page, one of the Marjolaine Baston pages. And then this is some beautiful vintage stationery. In this one, you get 2 sheets. And my friend and I had gone to the bins here, and we kind of had to search very hard just to find the 3 sheets of stationery and these little beautiful envelopes. The few that I have, we had to go digging for. So I've been treasuring them also just for this journal. Another one of these beautiful crocheted paper clips is holding it to this page. This is more scrapbook paper, cardstock. And then in the pocket, I folded it over to make a slanted pocket. Oh, this was paper clipped right here. It's another flashcard, like vocabulary flashcard, and the word means to bud or blossom. Here's another excerpt from the hymnal. This one is called Morning Prayer by Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and the earlier one was Evening Prayer, also by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And then here's another K & Company journaling card. A different garden book. I think this was from the Time Life series, but I just love the beautiful page. I folded it over. The artwork is too lovely to cut off. And then the back side is also got a pretty photograph. Lined paper. And then on this one, this is a pocket. Again, this was a piece I got from Dale in the swap, and I just loved this. It's from either a handkerchief or a napkin or something, but it's got the beautiful embroidery on it. And so I just layered it up with the pretty paper, and then I added a hymn page called God Answers Prayer, and another one of these beautiful postcards. This has the copyright on it, 1993. Yeah, I found them at a thrift store. There was a pack of them, so they would just look lovely in here. Original page. And then this is from a children's book about prayer, and so this one has the Lord's Prayer in it right here, and then I followed it. The actual hymn of the Lord's Prayer was earlier, but then I followed it with Sweet Hour of Prayer, and then the Lord's Prayer again right here. So they kind of all tie together. And then here's another prayer by Tennyson. Here's another beautiful book page, an Ideals magazine page. I folded that one over as well, and then I took an index divider. These are plastic. They're really old, but they're interesting because they're this plastic material. And then I just sewed an image from a Dick and Jane book with the girls. That's Jane and Sally picking flowers. Excuse me for yawning. It is late, and I apologize. Another index card, coffee dyed index card, and then I made an oversized journal card to go in the pocket, and I stamped it with the beautiful stamp set also that I received from Dale. I think when I went through earlier, I thought these were roses. This is a hollyhock. There was something I had called a rose that was actually a hollyhock, but in one of my earlier videos. Thomas Kincaid. This is from a book of Thomas Kincaid paintings and things, and on the back the section was contemplation, yeah, which I thought was beautiful and very appropriate for a prayer garden. Vintage stationery. Added a sticker on the back. Here's another excerpt I've layered up. This is from the hymnal. And then I made a large oversized side pocket, and I have one of these sheets from the notepad, and I just made it so it has the tulips sticking out right here. Another piece of like a cardstock pack. This is an old K & Company as well, and then vintage stationery with a rose. It does have like a little coffee dye mark that got dripped on it at some point. These all just tuck right in here. And then on this side, this is the pocket I received. It's got a tag in the back, and I received it from Dale in our Secret Santa swap, and I just loved it. It was perfect. I added this sticker from my sticker collection to the back. And then when I glued it down as a side pocket and just added a piece of scrap of cardstock, scrapbook paper, and you can add, I think you could write on it probably the way it is, or you could layer up some paper to write on, you know. You can add writing space if you'd like. Here's another page from that beautiful, it's called the Country Journal, Country Rambler or something. You'll see it in the upcoming video. Sticker on the back of that, and then I layered up some of the pretty papers from Grabby, and then this is a library pocket, and this image, these are both from Celeste at Woodland Inspired. And then I just tucked in this vintage tally card that I can't remember if somebody sent this to me or if I found it at a thrift shop, but regardless, it's beautiful. And then these are business cards. You're supposed to pre-print, but they have the rose, and they are the funnest ephemera. I love using them. Original page. And then this piece right here, this is paper I found at a thrift store, but it has kind of that handmade botanical paper look. These are money envelopes, and I don't remember. I think I ordered them from somebody off of Etsy, but I don't remember who or when. But I like the color. And it just tucks over the page. And then this is a sweet little card. It just says, "He hears every prayer and keeps every promise." And then I just backed it with plain paper to turn it into a mini journal card. There's nothing in the envelope. You can tuck in there whatever you wish. This is a doily, an oversized doily. I've cut it in half, so the other half is in the other journal. This is an oversized envelope, and it's one of those lovely gold ones. And again, I layered up one of these antique seed packet. Well, they're not antique, but they're extremely old. Very, very old. And then I just added a little butterfly piece that I had extra. I layered it up with lace on this side, added a scrap piece. It's the opposite piece that I had cut off of that other page, and made another pocket here. Inside the pocket, I just have a card. I covered this up because it said thank you or happy birthday or something, but I just layered some scraps over it for writing, and then I covered up the sentiment with a scrap of paper and a sticker. Another piece, decorative piece from an old K & Company pack. It's nice to finally have those used up. I'm very excited. This is a coffee dyed guest check. These all just tuck inside this little pocket here, and then inside the envelope. Another page from one of my notepads. This is a prayer for strength that was also from my hymnals, and I just left it so you could do whatever you want to with it. Originally I was going to turn them all into journal cards, and then I changed my mind and thought, you know, whoever gets the journal might want to do their own thing with it. So some I turned into journal cards, and some I just left loose for you to use how you want. This oversized index card is coffee dyed, and then I just layered up some of the scraps from me working on this particular journal, and I just layered them up to make a pretty topper for the top of the card. This is from an Ideals magazine, and I just love the beautiful blossoms. I don't know if those are cherry or dogwood or just what, but they're gorgeous. Hollyhock on the back. Original book page. This is a page from an old album. It was a photo album that we had bought, but it just kind of was falling apart right here. We never even got to use it. And then I saw somebody taking pages and using them at one point. So I took it all apart. I stitched around each one. I stitched around the pages in pretty colors, and then you can just use them in your journals. And I've tucked in on each side a hand stenciled journal card that I have stenciled. They're just blank on the back. There's another pocket here. This is a double pocket, and I used some of this beautiful trim I had picked up at a thrift store. There wasn't a lot of it, so I just used it to line the top of the page here. In the top pocket, this is from a book on gratitude and thankfulness, and then another little index card where I've just layered up some fabric scraps, and this is from off of an envelope, this stamp, and do a little treatment on top of that. It's an idea that Rhonda Winstead has on her channel, and I can't remember what the name of the video was, but she does like a star design on hers because she was a quilter as well. So anyway, that's where I got the idea from. Mimi's Pot Roast recipe card. And then this beautiful piece of stationery that I have thrifted along the way, but I just think it's so pretty with the flowers and the butterflies and the pretty, it's very lightweight paper, has kind of a parchment look to it. And it all tucks right back in there. This is just a plain greeting card. I lined it with green paper inside to cover up all of the sentiments, but I picked it because Mimi would have definitely been having tea parties with her kids and her grandkids. So that was very much like her. This is the envelope that matches that card you saw earlier, the tall skinny card that I turned into a belly band. So I just took the other half of the card off. It's so pretty. And where the sentiment and the words were, I just covered them up. And it's a beautiful card, so I didn't want to waste it. So this just tucks inside the envelope and goes back into the belly band. Let's see, did I have the flowers up or down? Ledger paper, double layer of doilies. Aren't those pretty? You'll see these, I think I got these from Temu as well, so that'll be in that haul coming up. Original book page. There was some highlighting here, so I just layered up the papers. This was in one of the packs from Celeste that she sent me. Children's book page, and then a different children's book, little vintage children's book about prayer, and there's the little boy praying. And this is just some stationery I found at the thrift store, but it's really pretty, so it made its way in. This is from a different poetry book. It's not Helen Steiner Rice, and I can't remember the lady's name now. Lowry, I think is her last name. Anyway, so I wanted to include this page because it has a prayer there, and then this talks about faith. Another original book page, Love the Old Car. These are from a book on, it was called Prayers to Soothe Your Soul, and the artwork is by Sandy Lynham Clough, or Clough. It's C-L-O-U-G-H, so I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Coffee dyed vintage stationery. Added a sticker to the back. This is the matching envelope for that stationery page. And inside I just put a daily devotional page, and it's either referencing prayer or garden. I included one of each in this journal, so one of them has something to do with the gardens and the other one has something to do with prayer. So. And then this is from a different faith devotional book, and on the back it talks about faith. Each one had beautiful black and white photos and then a devotional about faith on the back side. Coming to the end here, final piece of beautiful cardstock that I layered up, this pretty lace, and then this trim that looks like roses. Love that. All found at the thrift stores. Here's the other daily devotional page. This is from a little address book, but it's pink and I love it. Another K & Company journal card, all tucked into this giant side tuck here. And then this is the final page, kind of helps push everything forward. And so I just layered up another one of those pretty paper pieces from grabby. I tore the scrap from here and made a torn pocket edge, and then tried to tatter this pansy applique, and it didn't tatter very well. so it's got some pieces missing around the edges, but it didn't fray like I wanted it to, but it still looks pretty. This is from a book on prayer and promises. I think it's more promises, and this particular page was about prayer. So I tucked that one in. This is from a Bible game, an old vintage Bible game, and talks about the Garden of Eden. So I included it. Plus the color on the back is just gorgeous. Another one of these business cards here. And then this is the very back page. I put my hand stamped, made by me, little piece that I do, and then added another piece of that notepad page. This is the original cardboard piece that they put in here to help keep all the pages from scrunching up at the back. I just covered it with pretty papers on both sides. It's very thick. And then when I covered the front, it was not, I only had one sheet of this paper, so there wasn't enough to cover the back side completely, so I just used a scrap and made a wide pocket here. It's very tight, and I didn't really stick anything in there other than this note about what is a junk journal, how do you use it, my little note that I include. I'm very pleased because they turned out, they're not super fat, they're not just so wide, and I'm very happy that there's plenty of room to write, but it's not just so fat that you can't move things around in here, and you could still add some other stuff if you want. So because of that, I did not add a tie. And then this guy still has the original plastic acetate piece in here that keep all the pages from getting stuck down in the middle of the binder. So there's that one. Very quickly, we'll go through this one. Now this one is different, partly because I didn't have the vintage binder, so I covered this one. It's not padded, I just glued the fabric down to the cover, and then I had trimmed it out with the GIMP trim on the front and on the back. And I just left it kind of simple. I could have added more like doilies and stuff, but since it was a garden and prayer garden theme, I just didn't feel like doilies were quite what I wanted. But the new owner, when they get it, could certainly add those if they want. What I did do, however, I just love this beautiful fabric. So this is a frame that I've had it in my stash for forever, and I just took another piece of clear plastic. It was a page protector piece, and it's coming unglued. I gotta re-glue that. I just made it into a pocket, a clear pocket, so you can still see the fabric when this comes out. And then I just made a journal card out of an index card. So I will re-glue that because that is coming up. So this is the secret prayer garden, and I might have to raise my camera just the easiest bit because it is wider. There we go. And you'll get a little glare there. This is the same front pocket as I had in the other one, trimmed out with some of that beautiful rose trim, and then just stamped on the back with "This book belongs to." And I liked that because I liked the paper on the front. I just wanted you to see the whole thing but have a useful pocket. So I'm really happy with that. Now, I did not do a lot of sewing in these journals, but on this particular page, there are a few places where I kind of needed to, and this is one of them. So I sewed two of the pretty pages together to make a front page that mimics the one in the other binder. And so a lot of these elements are very similar. So here's the children's book page. It's not a pocket because I didn't have another one that would work like the first one did. And then another one of these pages from the Faith book. So the order is very similar. I may not have used identical items. For example, this page up here was in the back of the book in the other one, but I used very similar things, and they mimic each other fairly closely. Now on this one, I have a flip out It's one that I made in one of the Roxy's weekly challenges. The problem is I've got my phone so high now I can't tell what you can see and what you can't. I just made a simple journal card that tucks down inside here. Probably shouldn't have pulled that out all the way. There we go. And so these they were hinged. And so I just made it so the hinge is underneath this beautiful paper, and then there's more writing space right there. And as you can see, just a lot of similar elements. This is a different pocket I made in Rachel's challenge, weekly challenge, and it just works really nicely here. I was trying to cover up the back of this art book page. That's from a book on painting. And so I did kind of a collage in the background to cover up what was going on back there, but then this is the pocket. And then I made a journal card from scrap, and then this is an antique postcard. So this one has some slightly different ephemera than the other one does, but they're most of them are similar, but with a few differences. This is a book or a page from an Edith Holden address book. Ideals page. And then I like how when you open it up and there's these beautiful birds, the coloring on this one. The poem is called The Throstle. I don't know what a throstle is, but I assume it's a bird. So I liked how all the color worked together here. There's that page from the photograph album. Looks like straw paper. And then the other book had the Lord's Prayer. This is a different one from a different music book. So I just folded it in. And so it just looks a little bit different. And I just love these pictures here with the flowering trees. And again, very similar on the inside. This is where I've tucked my note about what the junk journal is, and where I had washi tape in the other, I just used a beautiful strip cut off of scrapbook paper. This one does not have a pocket at the back, so I had to put that in a different spot. This is a cutout from K & Company, and I wanted to use them so badly in this journal, so I found a spot for this one. And then another item that I included in this one, the little girl with the straw hat. You'll see a few more pages that incorporate the straw hat image. And so this one has the straw hats, and this is, I think, supposed to be a picture from The Secret Garden, the book. And then this is a Kate Greenaway illustration. And I just like how these colors here tie in with these colors of this rock garden. Another beautiful page from the book on prayer. Marjolaine Baston stationery. And then this gorgeous page. Here's the page with the gorgeous stationery in it. There's only one sheet of that pretty stationery because I only had 3 total. So here's the morning prayer. Here's a different K & Company journal card. And then I had this little label that says Friends, and this is another piece that Celeste sent me, so I like that. Since I only had one set of the crocheted paper clips, there was one left over that I included in this binder, but then you have some other different styles. So this one says Dream and has a little dangle on it. That's my last one like that, I think. Here's from the Beautiful Nature book. I added a sticker. I just love these pages. They're so pretty. Let's try to get all my colors going together. There was more highlighting, underlining over here, and so I just covered it with some pretty scrapbook paper and added a label, but I really didn't want to take away from this pretty picture of the vines. This is a pocket I made from a scrap that went into here. This is just a little book I found at the thrift store, but it says, I thank you, Lord. So it's got a cute poem on it. And then a journal card I made. Nice, just tuck right into here. I just love this paper. I'm sad there was only one piece, but I think I used it well. Children's book page. This straw paper looking stuff. This is from another very old, I think this is from the 50s or 60s gardening book. Vintage stationery. And then original book pages. And then here's the other card made into a belly band, and it said happy birthday down here, so I just covered it with a label and cut out around the butterfly so it would overlap the label. And then K and Company journal card. They're just so pretty. Now in this pocket, very similar to the other one, I have the gold colored seed envelope, and so it doesn't have a window in it, but I did put another one of Celeste's stamped pieces in there. This is, I think it was, I can't remember what she called the set, but it had to do with gardening and herbs. Another very old, I think this was Prima journal card. And then recipe card for garden leaf salad. And here's my Anna Griffin envelope again. I edged it with butterflies instead of the ruffle, but the same idea with the vintage seed packet label. And then on the back I have this holding it shut. But this card, it's in there upside down because I was trying to slide it in easier. But I have, this was, like I said, it was an Anna Griffin pack. I had found it Tuesday morning, and this was one of the things you're supposed to decorate it with. And so in the front it said something or other about good luck to you, and I just covered it with a little piece of a clock face here that I think still looks in character, in keeping with the image on the front. Added a sticker here. And I'll fiddle with that later. It's a little fussy. I love this image right here. It's so pretty. And then this one I decided to put a side tuck. Again, I had it all lined up so it covered all of this highlighting, and then when I glued it down I moved it over too far. But for the most part, you can't really see it when you have stuff in the envelope anyway, but I think that is so pretty how that turned out. And another giant journal card, and I stamped on the back of the other one and I forgot to do it on this one, so I'll probably go back and stamp on that one too. But when you tuck it in there, it's just so pretty all together. And then this is a greeting card, also found at a thrift store, but I love how it cuts out around the edge of the flowers. It's blank on the inside. This is from, this is an ideals page. It was talking about weddings and Valentine's Day, so I just covered it with a piece from a notepad so you could journal there instead. There's an original page. This is part of a thank you gift from Celeste when I ordered from her, so I used this envelope. I had the one from Dale in the other binder, the other journal, and I used this one in here. Oh, and then I added this pretty little label. Another of my stenciled journal cards, and then this is just a scrap. Cut off scrap. And then I have one of these cute little paper clips to hold it all shut. I just love these tassels. So cute. More of my faux handmade paper here. Added some stickers here. Just need to make sure you can see what I'm looking at. Okay. And Marjolaine Baston. Beautiful page here, and I love the blue, how it ties in with this pretty blue on this scrapbook paper. And then on the back, this is a pocket I've made in the past, and it was just so pretty. The colors just work so nicely. I do have a video on that. It was, I can't remember now what it was called. If I can remember, if I have time, I'll link it up in the cards. I was finishing, it was in my abandoned projects playlist, so go look there. This is an excerpt on prayer, and it has all kinds of readings and devotional things about prayer. Well, prayer on the front side, and then a different topic on the back. So this, I think, was from a very old hymnal. or possibly just a coral book. I have a number of coral books in my shop that I'm trying to sell. I've grouped them together so that it's easier to you know, they're similar in style and stuff, but they come in groups of 3, generally speaking, and it came out of one of those old books. Another one of these pretty postcards, and then this is stationery. I found this one at a thrift store. I just love the embossed. These were very popular there for a while, and I love them when I find them. I just don't see them very often. So this was all layered up. Here's another image with the straw hat. And that came out of a book on roses, I think. And then, because I had the pretty piece of hanky or napkin in the other binder, I found a similar one, or one that kind of mimics it, to put into this one. And then I have that excerpt on prayer by Joyce Landorf. Another one of these pretty postcards. And then this is a greeting card. I just love these. They are so stinking cute. With the basket. And it says thank you, but you could always cover that with something else if you want. I just think they're so pretty. So that's tucked in there. And the original book page. And then these are pages from, it's A Child's Garden of Verse. It's the little golden book one. And so these are extra pages from when I was doing another project, but I just love the pictures here. And then on the back, I considered covering this, and whoever gets the binder might still decide to, but the kids are asleep. But then my hymn, This Is My Father's World, because it's a garden, on the back side is Morning Has Broken. So it's kind of, it tied in with the kids sleeping, because then they'll wake up in the morning and they'll hear the birds singing. And then this talks about spring and when April smiled. So this is an ideals page, but I just liked how all those pages flowed together. And then inside there's this beautiful sweet girl. This was from an Easter Ideals, and she also has the straw hat. So I have the straw hat theme kind of going through this journal. Thomas Kincaid page. This one has Solitude. Another one of these beautiful embossed stationery pages with a sticker on the back. And then this excerpt is by C.S. Lewis about real prayer, and I backed it on some brown mulberry paper and tried to scuff up the edges, distress the edges. And then this is the piece that was left over from the piece you saw earlier, but I just like how it just kind of ties in on this paper and adds an extra element that you can, it's just really pretty, I think, the way it all works together and the colors. In this pocket, since I only had one of those pieces with the rose, this is just plain, but it's a very old piece of stationery, and it's got this gorgeous deckled edge, and it just feels really nice. And then I have a piece of scrapbook paper that's just plain pretty, and another K & Company giant journal card. So nice to be finally using those up, because I have had them since, well, like I said, early 2000s. Now on the back side, this is a pocket I've made. So I've got some sewing and some layering. These are those embellishments I made on camera. And then I used this just plain pink and added the evening prayer, a sticker with the cross, and then some of the rose trim as a pull tab. But the colors are just so soft, and they really, I think they are just a nice complement to this paper here. I really like how that turned out. And then here's this page from that book, and then my leftover trim, I just took off the braided part and layered it on pink lace. It was coming apart, so it was a good way to use it. I added a sticker up here, and then here's another one of my pretty library pockets from Celeste, and then that's another piece from the Anna Griffin stationery card packs, and I just love these roses, so added those there. This is a cutoff from Tim Holtz. Perfect. This was just a tiny journal card from a little pack I got long ago, and then the business card with the rose. Page. I layered up 2 different notepads here and added a label because there was a lot of underlining on that page. the same envelope. Here's another Tim Holtz scrap, and then a really pretty paper clip, and it has like a compass. So I kind of figured, like, when you're out in the garden and you're exploring and stuff, that's kind of, you know, you might want a compass, or you could pretend like it's a sundial if you want. This one, I forgot to put anything in. So it's just an empty pocket, but again, there was red underlining, and this is a wallpaper piece, so I just glued it down as a side pocket, and you can tuck whatever you'd like to in there. There's that doily, and then again, you see my layered up with the antique label. And here's my corner pocket. Here's a blank card, and I just love that. Really looks like a secret garden, like you're gonna go climb over the fence and walk through. I didn't cover this up. I didn't even think about it. And then another journal card. I like these because they're two-sided, but they were really pretty. And then inside the envelope, slightly different. You still have this, the prayer for strength, another journal card here. And then I decorated this one with a scrap from the cover, and then a piece of the music page, and a scrap of the green paper. Painter's, you know, that's the painter's masking paper. And there we go. And then this is an ideals page, and I like that it was said the garden entertains. Oops. I really liked it for this image here, but I cut it down so that you could still read the poem about the garden. And here we are again with the photo sleeve, but this time I've got this stencil and the blue stencil. And then here, because I didn't have the right kind of card to go across like I did in the other book, I just used a fabric belly band that I've made, and then I just added my last little bit of these roses on top to decorate it. And then here's the card from the first belly band. And this time I used some of the green masking paper here and one of the pretty doilies there. And this is the pretty envelope. They're just the most beautiful cards. They're tall and thin, and then just the envelopes are gorgeous, and that just slides right in there. And then here's our double pocket again. So in this one, the index card is decorated a little bit differently with just some snippets of things. Coffee dyed again. This is a journal card I made from a vintage flash card, but it definitely has that garden theme. This is one I made ages and ages ago out of a library card, and then I just sewed a scrap of fabric and some lace along the edge, inked it up, and reinforced the whole. The title of the book has nothing to do with the gardening or prayer. It's just a library card. And then I had another one of these pretty cards. So. I know I had these back two arranged differently, but I think I like them like this better. So that's what we're gonna do. Ledger paper, layered doilies, original book page, children's book page. I love how he's just looking. And then this one has the pretty birds and the forest in the back. And then here's another little page. This is from a book on being thankful, which I still have that journal in my shop, in my Etsy shop. It's a little spiral bound gratitude thankfulness journal. So it has some of these original book pages and a lot of scraps and things, and I just love it. And it's been in there for a very long time. I made two, and one sold pretty fast. The other one's just sitting there lonely. I don't know why it won't sell, but I hope this is the year. Anyway, go take a look, check it out. This is another one of those poetry pages from the lady whose last name is Lowry. But I thought this worked really well with a secret garden theme. And then the poem, you know, just a couple of poems. They're not about prayer or gardens, but I liked the image, and she's got lovely poetry as well. And here's our other prayer book. And then the vintage stationery, I coffee dyed, I added a sticker. Here's that same envelope. And in this one, oh, it's leaving a mark. In this one, I added the coordinating piece of stationery. And I added a sticker on both of these envelopes. I added the sticker so it would look pretty sitting in on the page here. This is one I tried to antique up. That's it didn't work very well, but it looks a little grungy. And then I hung from it. Tried to hang a charm, and it's a straw hat. One of the last ones I have like that, and I tried hanging it from a bulb pin, so it's not quite hanging right. I'm not good at this stuff. I'm not a jewelry maker yet, so we'll get there someday. Another black and white image, and my last page, folded it over, made the large pocket, and here's a K & Company journal card. Another one of those prayer devotional pages, and the pink date address book page. I love that they're pink and square, so I'm like, just so cute. And then the last pocket here. So it's a little bit different because I only had one of that pansy applique, so I used a doily piece here. And there's the scrap with the torn edge. This is from a devotional, Our Daily Bread, and this talks about praying for wisdom. And then another journal card I made. I love it. Love it, love it. And then I went ahead and added the writing space on the back. This one doesn't have a pocket because it didn't need one. I had 2 sheets of this paper so I could cover it completely. So this was Secret Prayer Garden. And my other one is Mimi's Prayer Garden. I want to stand up and make sure I got them in frame. All right, so there they are. They will be in my coffee shop, linked below, and I'll have them up there by Saturday. I got a busy week happening, so looking for a reprieve very soon. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining me. I loved hanging out with you today. It's always an enjoyable time and a pleasure for me. Please give me a thumbs up if you found value from the video. And I will talk to you next time in my next video. Until then, be inspired and do something creative today. Bye-bye.